When I was a young boy, my father took me to the ice rink and he strapped on some skates and I started playing ice hockey for the next 11 years. And when I was playing the sport, I kind of didn't really develop any of the mechanics that I should have been developing in the entirety of when I was playing. I skated the same way, I handled the puck the same way, all the way from first grade to 11th grade, right? Now, I'd been approaching powerlifting the same way because I always felt like I was putting forth effort by just showing up to practice, and that's not it. That's not how you do things. That's not how you become a champion, right? So, with my new coach, we took a look at my deadlift. We found some cues that I am able to digest mentally and I'm able to put forth on the platform. And that put about 100 pounds on my deadlift in about 14 months, right? So, boys, if we did that, if we finally started developing the right muscles by having the correct form, what do you think we're going to do in the next 6 months? Boys, it's about to get fun. Let's go deadlift, my children. That was 595 for 10 by 1. Programmed 60 seconds rest, but I try not to emphasize the timed rest period on that. I kind of step back, take a drink of water, rechalk the hands, and set up. And I figure that's about a minute, right? A minute is a lot less time than you think it is, girls. And the first one, I was probably a little cold. I took way too long in between my last warm-up and the first set of the 10, mostly because I slid into Hunter Henderson's DMs, and then right before I set up right before I got up over the bar for the first one, I remembered that I'd forgotten to take my nectar, and so I took that real quick. But a lot of procrastination time. Motivation is pretty low right now, but we're making do. Had to use the Texas deadlift bar with a clip on the inside because I compete on a kabuki bar, so I had to imitate a kabuki bar because the kabuki bar was being used, and I didn't want to wait around for it to get not used. So just chugged forward. I had 4 plates on the bar before the kabuki bar freed up. So, oh well. I mean, I was already set up pretty much. One of my buddies said I should have asked to work in and stripped all the pound plates that he was using off the bar and just loaded my weight onto the bar and just refused to change the weight when he tries to work back in. That would have worked, but I don't feel like I have the balls to do that. And then we finished up, we followed that up with 3 by 35 seconds of bent over rows. Those, it's like, it doesn't matter how you do them. You could do them fast and jerky, all the body English in the world, or you could do them slow, controlled, focus on that eccentric, the control down and the stretch at the bottom. Because 35 seconds is 35 seconds. You can bust out 12 reps of really slow, controlled, or you can bust out 40 reps of ugly. It all depends on what you want to do and the type of quality of reps that you want to do. I tend to go towards the slow and steady. It wins the race, builds more muscle fibers, gets a better pump. So that's what I opt for. But now we've got belt squat RDLs for time, where we set up the belt squat with a handle and we hold on to the handle and do RDLs. And it's for 40 seconds every set. I think it's either 3 or 4 sets. And we do the same thing, slow, steady tempo, make sure that we get the most range of motion that we can out of the movement, get the maximum stretch out of our hamstrings and glutes, because that increases the amount of blood flow that gets prioritized towards those muscle areas, because that increases and optimizes the size and regularity of the muscle tears. So the body says, this is getting used abruptly, aggressively, so let's send more blood there. So if you want a juicy badonkadonk, focus on a large anus stretch, glute stretch, bikini girls. I'm pretty like one, right? What a lot of people don't talk about is how when you switch from like an off-season phase to a peak phase, it heavily impacts your central nervous system. And your central nervous system operates on everything like how well you sleep, how long you sleep, how well you digest things, how well your body, it regulates body temperature, and it also affects your mood, right? So I just switched from a off-season phase to peaking phase, and bench day we tickled heavier numbers, squat day we tickled heavier numbers, deadlift day we didn't really tickle heavier numbers per se, but I mean, like, I wouldn't have deadlifted 575 with my previous coach until like 6-7 weeks out. So we're I guess we're stronger there. So I don't know if that, but we pulled the easiest deadlift PR of my life last week for volume. And as we progress, CNS is going to get battered, and it's going to have to recover. And the more abuse it takes, the more recovery it has to take, the more adaptation it has to do. And it pulls from different sections of the things that it regulates. So it'll pull from your ability to digest. So as I get closer to meat day, I struggle to digest foods a little more. I mean, there's other factors that go into that too, but CNS acclimation is a large part of that. And then like I've been sleeping harder, if that makes sense, but I wake up more tired. So it's pulling from that. And one of the most noticeable things is how it pulls from your energy. You're just tired all the time. You're hungover. It's basically a CNS hangover when you hit heavy numbers, and then the week after. But you gotta bite the pillow and go in raw, because you gotta get stronger. You gotta get more acclimated. You gotta get ready to touch, tickle, and dominate those heavier weights, right? So right now, it's pulling from my mood, and I am susceptible to aggressive mood swings. Really high highs, really low lows. Doctors at one point were like, bipolar, maybe, definitely major depression, extreme anxiety. And the most recent one was thinking OCD, which is the most realistic one. They haven't done any sort of like official diagnosis, because if they diagnose a mental illness wrong, they can get sued easily. So a lot of doctors refuse to make any sort of judgment on the verdict on mental illness, even though it's a hot topic now. And it's especially a hot topic, so I guess it makes sense why they don't want to mess around with that. But I've gotten control of it personally for a while, and it's almost like finding something to tap into, to recognize, hey, everything's going to be okay. I saw a quote from Bill Burr today, saying something like, why feel bad about things that are going to happen, and just feel bad about things when they do happen, so you can just take care of it rather than making everything else worse. Something like that, paraphrased. And I'm like, kind of gotta tap into everything's good. It's like it's like sometimes you feel weak, but you're not weak. You're not weaker. You don't feel you feel weaker, but you're not weaker. Like there's going to be some sort of undulation due to factors like your CNS isn't primed in the off season. You didn't sleep well. You're sick. This, that, you didn't eat well. Work life is stressful. Home life is stressful. Stuff like that. And usually, as I get closer to meets, that those things exacerbate and rear their heads, and they're just like, "Hey, yeah, we're still here." And I kind of just push things off to the side once I get closer to meets. But I've had very little motivation this week, or ever since yesterday, because everything was kicking my ass, and work has been stressful. I'm overwhelmed at work, but I gotta suck it up and do what I can, um, rather than just shutting down. And I have a calendar in my office. I can't share it with anyone, but it I put my goals on there and everything I have to do for the day. And you can see on that calendar my ability to retain the goals slowly slipping. So it's like the first week of January 2nd, it was like a good day. January 3rd, good day. January 4th, good day. January 5th, bad day. And then Monday this week was, I got some goals done, but not all of them done. Next day, the same thing. Got one goal done really well, but nothing else done. So those were kind of like meh days. And then the past 2 days have been dog shit. So you gotta recognize and reevaluate and progress, right? So you've got leg press, and I have to put the ego on the burner, on the off burner, and probably reduce the weight on that, and lean into the stretch. Get a good stretch because my left knee is tight. So you gotta lean into that and just accept sometimes the weight isn't going to be heavier, and especially accessories, especially leg press. Leg press isn't intended to make you stronger. It's intended to help stretch you out. It's the best stretching tool in the gym. It's just how aggressive can you stretch, and that's what I'm going to be doing today for the last movement of the day. As we get, I have a sore throat. That's not cool. As we get closer to the meet, we're not really going to have any pumps anymore, right? Because we're going to be cutting down really hard on the volume. So we're not going to be in a hypoxic state as much. We're going to be, my ribs are tight. We're going to be in, I don't know what the term is. We're going to be in a state of excitement. I don't know. I need to ask my coach more about the states of the body in training, because hypoxia is what happens when you do a lot of volume. Your muscles run out of oxygen. They start to burn. Your body flows more blood to the muscles that are hypoxic to help it recover that oxygen and recover from the muscle tears that go on. And hypertrophy comes from that. A little bit of science there for you. And I don't know what the term for is. Just lifting heavy as shit. Where? That's not my pocket. There's my pocket. But I don't really know if I'm gonna have tummy time between now and the meet, unless we have a day of a good pump, which probably will end up being on the upper body accessory days. But might be out of a tummy time for a little while. And I mean, I kind of gave you guys a tummy time right there, but we won't have a pump to check out for a while. So I'm thinking it takes a lot of effort to set up a area where I won't get heckled to analyze and look at the pump under good lighting. So I fear we'll be out of tummy time. Anyways, good training day. 575 10x1. It's not a PR, but it feels like it should be. It feels like something that like it's not a volume PR, because I did that with the 585 for, I think it was 4 triples last week. And so 4x3 is 12. So that's the most, was it 4x3 or 3x3? But anyways, that's still going to be more volume than whatever I did today. But it feels like it should be a PR, so I should be proud about it. It's almost like a 1x10, but we just reset after every single rep. But good day. Motivation is very low, very tired, very not depressed, but depressed. Energetically depressed would be a more apt word. But tomorrow's Friday, and you know what Friday means? It means we go to Dunkin' and we treat ourselves to a coffee. And that is the closest thing that I do to not following my dietary program, but that is because I have the routine was already set in me to treat myself on Fridays with Duncan long before Briani, and I struggle to break cyclic habits like that, cyclic situations of stimulation, which is why I hate going on vacation, because I get into the routine of going into work, doing the work things, because I'm able to get my meal times more accurate when I go into work, and I get paid to be more active, if for lack of a better term, because I'm at work and I'm just shutting all the lights off at the gym because I'm literally the last person here, because I swear I'm not homeless, but there is a rumor going around the gym because no one ever is here when I'm not here. I'm usually here when people arrive and I'm here when they leave. So they say that I am a homeless man who happens to lift at the gym, and that I'm very small and tiny, and I've got a small total. And that's not the only thing about me that is small, because I also have a small car, a Honda Civic, which, oh, can I get in? Yeah. Modern technology is amazing. But anyways, I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat dinner and edit this video, and then I'm going to cry myself to sleep for no reason whatsoever. So you boys stay degenerate, and Patty's out.